Welcome to my CRT unit plan. The title of my unit plan is called An Introduction of Critical Race Theory as a Rhetorical Construct with the novel The Hit You Give by Angie Thomas, and this is a unit plan for 8th grade English. For easy purposes, I used the school that I currently am at in Far Rockaway, 8th grade English, and what I really want the students to engage with in this unit is engaging with the novel or seeing the novel as a rhetorical construct. So this is an introductory unit in terms of the actual CRT, the critical race theory concept. So I won't go into in depth in terms of the term or where the term originated. It will mostly be giving a definition of what the term is, and then I will provide a a supplementary video on YouTube, which is about no more than I think 3 or 2 minutes, which is enough for them to watch without going stir crazy and just getting introduced to the concept of critical race theory and how this is seen in the classroom. The main essential question that I wanted to focus on for this unit plan is how can education be used as a tool to fight oppression? So because the novel has overlapping themes of racism, oppression, stereotypes, and social injustice, and using your voice to speak out, I wanted to overlap those themes through the formative and summative assessments. So students will engage with both informal class discussions that I will label as safe space class discussions. They will engage with informal writing, such as their journal reflections, as well as a formal writing in terms of their summative assessment, which they will have two options for the summative assessment, which is to do a collaborative project or an extended written response. Just to kind of jump through things. One of the main content knowledge that I wanted to focus on is understanding the meaning of critical race theory at introductory level, which would be through the definitions and the YouTube video, as well as understanding how rhetoric is used in our everyday lives. So because the concept of critical race theory and rhetoric is fairly new to them, I wanted to make sure that I'm incorporating instructional processes that my students already know how to do. So they already are used to having, I call them the safe space class discussions and speaking with one another. They are already used to their journal reflections. They are already used to being respectful of one another. And when they're reading, they're already used to making sure they have post-it notes to create annotations and allowing them to think out loud. So I really wanted to incorporate that in this lesson because I think what better way to introduce something new is using the constructivist theory, already applying knowledge that the student knows and just kind of enhancing and extending that information. And this is just a list of the secondary sources that I will be using. I did include the film, just I think I would use at the end of the unit just to kind of have my students see a visual for all the work that they've been doing and reading. For my formative assessment, what I really want to focus on is a Socratic seminar. I will be grading students. They have to speak to a minimum of 2 times, and they will have the opportunity to pass if they are uncomfortable with speaking. However, they will have to have an alternative assignment just to give each and every one of my students a chance to, participate in the seminar, as well as, get a grade. And then for the summative assessment, they will either be the collaborative group project, where students will create a presentation on ways that education can be used to fight oppression. However, they also have to create one dedicated slide as a rationale as to why they think speaking out against injustice is important. The same thing will similarly be for the written response. This will be based on the TED Talk, The Danger of a Single Story, and they will talk about ways to combat stereotypes using evidence from the book to support their claim, as well as giving a dedicated rationale on why speaking on acts of injustice is important. I wanted to differentiate the summative assessments for those who feel like they work better together. And then for those who just want to work alone and can write. Um, and yeah, this is just an overview and more in depth of the rubric. And just, I really just again wanted to incorporate my students' critical thinking, reading, writing, and speaking skills. There is a lot of speaking and writing for this unit just because that I think that the more that my students can use their written responses to help them speak formally, that's perfectly fine. I think there's just different ways of scaffolding that I use. And that is it for my unit plan. Feel free to pause and read anything over.